welcome back to the show. You know, a couple weeks ago, I had the privilege of interviewing Jose Canseco about his new book about steroids. Well, last week, as you know, there was an congressional investigation regarding steroids, and Mr. Mark McGuire was one of the people who was testifying. Well, now it's my pleasure to interview Mark McGuire. Mr. McGuire, thank you for coming on. Mr. McGuire, you were perfectly willing to deny that you took steroids in at least 3 press releases that you made. However, when you were up in Congress and you swore under oath, you would neither deny or claim that you did take steroids. Why were you so willing to admit that you didn't do steroids in the press releases, but didn't say anything in front of Congress?
What's the point? I mean, if I, a guy who's given millions of dollars to sick children's charities, said no, well, the public just wouldn't believe me. But if I did admit it, and then it wouldn't matter that I've given millions of dollars to charities for sick children, you'd all scorn and crucify me. Well, except for the sick children who I've given millions and millions of dollars to.
Mr. McGuire, you can't see at least why people would think that you look guilty now.
Guilt, non-guilt, using steroids, not using steroids. These are such subjective terms that should be best left in the past. I think we've been focusing way too much on the past in this issue.
The congressional panel was actually about reviewing the past, so I think it was perfectly reasonable for them to ask you questions about the past. Don't you see that?
Do you know what Hitler, the Black Plague, and the crucifixion of Jesus have in common? They're from the past. So you see, the past is evil, and I want to be about good.
Now, I know that you chastised Jose Canseco in your testimony, but, I mean, Jose has at least made some sort of stance in public. You know, he's been on TV and he said yay or nay about this. Granted, it might not be the morally right thing that he said, but at least he's made a stand. Don't you see where your wish-washing has made you look even worse than Canseco?
I think it's unfair to compare a guy like me who donates millions of dollars to sick children's charities, hits 70 home runs, and is generally an outstanding good guy whom God and Kurt Schilling would admire, to Mr. Jose Rat Fink Lying Snitch Canseco. I'm sorry, I had something in my throat.
Okay, Mr. McGuire, I'm going to ask you something that Congress was too chicken to ask you. Did you, at any point in time in your baseball career, take steroids?
See, there you go, Anti-Man, just like everybody else, focusing on the negative in this issue. I want to be about the positive things. This issue's been too negative. Let's focus on the positive.
You know, Mark, you're right. Why be so negative about drug use that could lead to teen suicide or early death or anything like that? I mean, you're right. It's such a downer. So let me ask you another question on a positive framework. All right? See, I'm smiling. Positive. Mark, at any point in time, did you positively walk into a bathroom stall, pull down your positive pants, and did Jose Canseco take a positive syringe and stick it in your rear?
Now, Anti-Man, while your underlining message was still a bit sarcastic there, that positive tone is exactly what I think should be going on in this discussion about steroids. In fact,
you got to accentuate the positive feeling, mind it to negative, latch on.
Mark, are you singing?
To the affirmative, don't mess with Mr. In Between.
Stop.
You got to spread.
Stop singing. Stop. Mark, no, that's it. This interview's over. Gone too far. Oh, I tell you. All right, we'll be back in a second for more Tales from the Anti-Man.
To illustrate his last remark, Jonah in the whale, Noah in the ark. What did they